Hey guys, we're going to continue to talk about water, but not salt water. That'll be in a video after this. Right now, we're just going to focus on fresh water and where it is found. So the first place that we're going to talk about as far as fresh water is going to be ice caps and glaciers. Glaciers and ice caps are storehouses of fresh water. They are important features in Earth's water cycle and affect the volume, variability, and water quality of runoffs in areas where they occur. Now, glaciers make up 79% of our fresh water. And that's a problem a little bit. Almost 10% of the world's land mass is currently covered in these glaciers and ice caps, most in places like Greenland and Antarctica, the far north and the far south, and Alaska. Very cold places. Glaciers are, in a way, just frozen rivers. So, the problem with glaciers is that they are truly humongous frozen water in very remote or very cold, not really accessible places on planet Earth. And unless you're really rich and you're getting your water just imported from some mountain or so you think, or you live near one of these areas, or you're just happy feet, if you're not one of these, typically ice caps and glacier water is not a viable source of fresh drinking water for you. So we're going to talk about what kind of is, and that's groundwater in uh, more developed countries like America and other places like that. Groundwater is where a lot of the citizens will get the water that they utilize. So 29% of water usage is our water found on Earth is groundwater. But there's also a caveat that we're going to talk about tomorrow with groundwater, because that one's a doozy as well. That being said, groundwater is going to be stored under the earth, typically in aquifers. They are costly to access in bulk. But however, throughout times, we have found pumps and wells that have allowed us to get to this groundwater since ancient days. But that being said, groundwater is a process to get to, and a lot of third world or underdeveloped countries will find it difficult to have groundwater be a real resource for their water needs. That being said, last but not least is going to be accessible surface fresh water. And this only makes up 0.03% of the water on Earth. And again, a lot of our undeveloped countries depend on this as a water source. Surface water is collected and is on the surface in streams, rivers, lakes, or wetlands. Surface water is naturally replenished through precipitation, that's rain, and is naturally lost through evaporation and some kind of subsurface seepage into groundwater. That all being said, in countries that depend on surface fresh water, that fresh water, again, has nothing to do with how clean the water is. It has everything to do with it not having salt. And I'm going to stop there because at this point I'm going to get upset. A lot of our fresh water is now polluted most of the time because of activities that have nothing to do with the citizens that actually live there. It's run off from other nations, more developed nations like America, China, Russia, places like that. But accessible surface fresh water is what a lot of the citizens of the world are forced to use.